Welcome back to a brand new Flick Pick live show. It's Saturday night, and I hope you don't have any friends or anything better to do. And once again, thank you so much for joining me, you sad, lonely souls, you. Nevertheless, we have a lot to talk about tonight. I want to talk about the brand new movie, Supergirl. Because we all know society needed another comic book movie. But there's nothing wrong with a good comic book movie, but this one is a bit questionable. We will dive into that. And also, I want to talk about a movie that I watched a couple weeks ago, but I have not had time to talk about until today, because you guys will always have a friend in me, and that's a little movie called Toy Story 5. Yes, the most profitable Pixar franchise of all time. And hey, if they're good, keep on making them. But as far as this newest installment goes, I have a few things to say, but gosh, I will always love the original. And once again, how are you guys doing? Thank you for joining me again. I'm wearing my slightly too small Superman shirt that I bought last year, and it shrunk in the wash. I bought a large, okay? It shrunk. Don't blame me. It's not a medium, I promise. But it is the weekend. We have a lot to talk about, and I want you guys to get your questions, your feelings, your topics in right now, and we will dive into all of those at some point a little bit later in the live show. Because I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. I don't do this for me. I don't want to hear myself talk. I mean, though I do, I want to hear from you guys. That's really why I do this. It's my version of social interaction. So nevertheless, what do you guys say? We just dive into the good stuff. And that good stuff is, hey, tough guy, eyes up here. Look at my medium Superman shirt. Anyway, this past week, I watched the brand new DC comic book movie, Supergirl. And, you know, was I really looking forward to this movie? Did I have high expectations? Did I think it was going to blow my socks off and make me want to wear red underwear and run around the house? Well, maybe. I was hoping I could do such things, and I do in the privacy of my own home. Actually, I'm doing that right now. But anyway, as far as this movie goes, I went into it with an open mind. I just wanted some mild entertainment to eat my popcorn to while I watched it in the theater and recline back in my slightly filthy leather reclining chair in the theater that's slowly degrading because they never clean it. All the leather's all cracked and fading. There's always popcorn and crumbs in the crevices of it. But nevertheless, I quite enjoyed the experience. And I thought the movie, for the first couple minutes, started off okay, but unfortunately, the longer that the runtime progressed, the more I realized this movie is just so formulaic. They have nothing to say in this movie. This just feels like filler for the sake of filler to introduce a character who ultimately no one's really asking for. I mean, we all kind of want to see a Superman movie, but is anyone clamoring for a Supergirl movie? Because in all reality, we've never had a good one. The last one that we did have was from 1980 something, and I watched it once and I thought it was utterly terrible. But when it comes to this Supergirl movie, I like me some Millie Alcock. I thought she was fine. I think she's probably the best thing about this newest movie. But unfortunately, the script and the screenplay that they put this character in just did not give her anything to do of substance or entertainment value. And it was a real disservice to the character. I was thinking to myself the entire time, if they just had a fun script where they could do this cosmic storyline and it had some depth and some feeling to it, hey, that would be a good introduction to the character Supergirl. But what you get, it just feels like a dragged out episode of a Supergirl TV episode that you would watch, and it's disposable in the grand scheme of storytelling. It doesn't really matter because by the time this movie's over, nothing that she does ultimately really matters. And you can make the argument there's a little bit of character building, and she kind of overcomes her party girl phase of wanting to go to suns with red planets and having a drink and getting drunk by herself at a bar, but that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, I just want to go hang out at a bar with a whole bunch of creepy alien dudes and have a few drinks. I don't know. Is that what 20-year-olds do these days? I don't know. I feel like that was not the right version to give us. But anyway, rather than get a Supergirl movie, the movie starts off by interjecting a character that no one wants to see, no one asked for, and I think it was one of the worst aspects about the entire film, because it kind of sidetracked Supergirl's story. And then we had to focus on this little girl, and her parents are murdered by the most cliche generic bad guy that's ever existed in a comic book movie. He should have just been generic henchman number 5, and they should have had a better, more compelling, charismatic villain to carry the movie, or maybe lingering in the background to build things up to another installment. Because, I mean, hey, isn't the trick here, if you're going to make a formulaic comic book movie, well, you need to build it up to a sequel to get people hyped. And by the end of this movie, I was like, what's the sequel going to be? Is there a plan? It didn't feel like they had one. I honestly think the studio knew this movie would not be that successful. They had no intentions of making a sequel to Supergirl, and they just wanted to lead into the next Superman movie. I think that was the intention here. like they knew the movie wouldn't be good, and it's not going to stand on its own 2 legs. So let's just kind of have some Superman stuff here in the background with some flashbacks, and we'll tell that story next year, because this is obligatory. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back to this force-contrived little kid character who added nothing to the movie other than making me roll my eyes every time she did anything on the screen. And what does she do? Well, there's moments in this film where this little 75-pound, 10-year-old girl overtakes giant monster alien guys and chokes them out with a chain to escape a prison cell. And it sort of reminded me of young Princess Leia from the Obi-Wan series. It had that sort of unlikability to it that just felt so shoehorned in. And listen, if you have a young kid sidekick character like Short Round from the Indiana Jones franchise, stuff like that adds a little bit of flavor to the movie. It's that's a good sidekick character, but this one simply wasn't. And now we as an audience, we're supposed to care about her vengeance against the generic bad guy who killed her parents. And I'm just like, what? I'm trying to watch a Superman or Supergirl movie. Why am I supposed to care about her motivations? I don't. And never once did I throughout the entire film. I was like, can she just do something else? And then what happens in the film, Supergirl ultimately does not go on this revenge journey with this little girl to serve true injustice. No. She doesn't have a heart of gold just yet. No. That's not what makes her leave the bar, because she wants to hang out with dirty alien guys and have a drink. No, that's not what makes her go on this journey. No. Crypto is shot with a poisonous, slow-acting venom by the villain of the film. Trust me, it gets really convoluted. And he's slowly dying, and now Supergirl needs to go find the bad guy to get the antidote. Did you hear what I just said? So now we have 2 different journeys. Supergirl couldn't just go with this little girl to, help her out. No. Crypto's dying, but Crypto also has superpowers. So when I was watching the movie, I was thinking to myself, well, if you just pick the dog up and you take him to a yellow sun planet, won't he just get better? But anyway, I guess that would make too much logic to the plot. So anyway, let's talk about this journey they all go on. But before we do that, I think first we should actually talk about the director of this film, Greg Gillespie, who directed I, Tonya, Cruella from 2021. I never watched it. I probably never will. Dumb Money, which I thought was okay. I watched it once. And then the screenwriter, I think does she have any other screenwriting credits? Maybe? I don't think she does. But she is writing the upcoming Teen Titans movie, so not looking forward to that whatsoever. And really, the screenplay of this movie is the kryptonite of the movie. It's one of the worst aspects about it. It's like she wrote a screenplay for an episode of a TV show that should cost like $1 million, but somehow she's like, this is a really good galactic adventure storyline introducing the character of Supergirl that's going to have a lot of special effects, but yet, ultimately, nothing really happens. It's just a repetitive series of action scenes that all start blurring together. So let's talk about that. Once they go on this journey, they go from place to place to place looking for this bad guy. And ultimately, they don't really achieve much along the way until the end of the movie. And every place that they go, it sort of looks the same. It looks like a small little set and it's all brown and muddy, and the color grading looks like poop. That's the best way to describe the color grading and the look of this movie. As a brown baby poop color grading palette to it. And it was not visually stimulating to my eyeballs, and it honestly made me tired. I almost fell asleep halfway through this film. That's how boring it is. That's how repetitive it is. And that's how bad the pacing of the film is, because you just go from another place to another place where Supergirl just gets into a fight with some bad guys. You get some slow motion action where they play the worst song choices of all time that just take you out of the scene. And listen, sometimes a good soundtrack or a good score can really elevate a movie. And I think had this movie at least had that, it would have had a heartbeat and a pulse and some like excitement every once in a while. But they play this like kind of punk rock, girl rock music throughout the movie. And I get what they were going for. You know, it's woman empowerment music, and it's subverting the scene and showing this really funny song, but it's also a lot of action sequences happening. And I get the formula from James Gunn. I understand what he does. I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. Except in Guardians of the Galaxy, that works. In this movie, it was just really taking me out of it, and I don't think he added anything to it. It unfortunately just took away from what was happening up on the screen with some of the song choices. Never once was I getting like little goosebumps and getting excited for the scene and getting anticipation. It just had a terrible score, which was one of the worst aspects about the movie. But anyway, at one point in their adventure, they do meet Lobo. Jason Momoa's Lobo. Hey, I'm a bounty hunter. You want to get drunk? Basically, that's my Beetlejuice impression and my Lobo impression. But really, Jason Momoa, if any role he was made for, I would say it's Lobo. Khal Drogo and Lobo. And it definitely wasn't Aquaman. I never bought him as Aquaman, and it felt like bad casting choice. It was like Zack Snyder trying to be edgy, going against the tropes of what Aquaman should be in casting Jason Momoa. I get what he was going for. But anyway, when it comes to Jason Momoa's Lobo in this movie, he's in the movie for like a total of 9 minutes. He shows up in a really badly CGI'd motorcycle that looks like it was rendered by in a PS2 video game from 2003. And he doesn't really do much. He honestly felt really tacked into the movie, like an afterthought. Like, how can we introduce another character into this movie, but he actually doesn't play a role in the plot whatsoever, and he just shows up in a few random scenes. And that's what he does. Like, it felt like reshoots with the character tacked into it. So that's Jason Momoa's Lobo in the film. I don't know. Who cares? It didn't really affect anything. It could have been cool, but ultimately it wasn't. Now, as far as a few things I liked about the movie, I think Millie Alcock as Supergirl, I think she works. I do. I think she has this charismatic, sort of relatable acting style for the version of Supergirl. She's not stoic. She kind of feels like a 20-something-year-old who would come from Krypton, and she lost her family, and she shows up on this planet, and she's a bit depressed about the situation. I think there's not really anything wrong with the casting choice, but once again, I think it comes down to the script and giving her something interesting to say or do, or showcasing some real emotional impact. But what you get is just the cliche surface comic book formulaic ChatGPT outline of a screenplay for a comic book movie. And then she goes on this side quest mission with this little girl, and she's like, listen, you don't want to kill the bad guy. You don't want to go down that path of vengeance. It's like, who are you, Batman? Shut up. Let her kill the bad guy. She needs this. It's probably good. It'll help her cope with her childhood trauma. Anyway, that's just my best advice. But anyway, yeah, as far as this intergalactic adventure they go on and all the pit stops they make, I just thought it was boring. Like, they made every location as boring as they could. The set pieces were bad, and the way that they filmed it all, they do these like slow-mo shots that just, it felt like a poor man's version of a Zack Snyder slow-mo shot. Like, you might as well have just had Zack Snyder come back and direct this movie. At least it would have had some like visual flair to it and not look like a poor man's interpretation of a Zack Snyder movie. Oh, gosh. What else is there? Yeah, I guess my final flicking thoughts on Supergirl is the movie really ultimately never goes anywhere. Some of the best parts were the flashbacks that you see throughout the film, like Kara coming to Earth and meeting Clark Kent for the first time. There's a few flashbacks of her finding young Crypto. But really, speaking of Crypto, I mean, everyone's favorite lovable CGI dog, once again, he's used as a plot device in a movie. So it's just like, and real quick, I don't even think anything I say about this movie would be a spoiler, but never once did I think, oh man, this is it. This is it. This is the end of these characters, because you just know she's going to show up and all the other characters are going to show up in another installment in a Superman movie. So really, there was no consequences. There was nothing keeping you on the edge of your seat. There was nothing visually stimulating. And the movie isn't offensively bad. Like, if you watched it late at night in your underwear eating frozen pizza on a random Tuesday night as it's a little bit rainy outside and it's kind of cold, you guys know the time of night I'm talking about. It's when you put mediocre content on that's basically regurgitated baby food put into a blender for easy mass consumption, and that's what this movie is. It's just obligatory at best. This is that type of movie. It's so safe. But unfortunately, I would have rather had a movie that was so bad I could at least be like, oh man, this is so bad it's mildly entertaining, and I'll remember how bad it is. But by the time this movie was over, and I shot my crappy reaction video in the parking lot for the movie, because this is not a movie you go home and talk about. No, you just shoot it on your iPhone in the parking lot. By the way, go check out my dedicated review of Supergirl over on the FlickPick channel. It's a good time. You will instantly forget that this movie exists. And just watching it a couple days ago and trying to do this video off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember anything that mattered in the movie, and there's nothing. This movie will be forgotten by next week. And it's so far, I think domestically, the movie made like $18 or $20 million. I think the movie's going to be a box office bomb, to say the least. And it's not because everyone is a male misogynistic pig and we don't want to see, a badass comic book female character tearing shit up on the big screen. Don't get me wrong. You give me a good female protagonist and I'm there day one. I salute it. You got Ripley from Aliens. You got Sarah Connor. Even the first Wonder Woman movie was fine. But this is just a disservice for everybody. Even if you're a fan of Supergirl, I don't know how you could watch this movie and be like, yep, that's the movie I've been waiting to watch for 40 years featuring Supergirl. It's just blah. And it's not offensively bad. It's just boring, which I think is the biggest sin that you can commit in cinema. So yeah, as far as Supergirl goes, I gave it a C- right here. I just watch it at home, maybe in the background as you scroll on TikTok or something else. I don't know. Ultimately, you don't need to watch the movie. It won't matter. She'll show up in the next Superman movie or some other installment of a DC movie, and we'll probably get a better version of the character in another movie than we got in her own solo movie. So I think this movie, from the screenplay to the direction, to the characters, to the visuals, it sort of failed on every single aspect. So what is there to say that was good about this movie? So those are my thoughts on Supergirl. Please leave your thoughts, your opinions down below. Is this movie kryptonite to the DC universe? I would say, yeah, it kind of is. And talking about the DC universe very quickly, and I'll read all of your comments, so get them in now. Tell me what you thought about the movie. I'm really curious. And if you like the movie, please tell me why you like the movie. Please let me know. But when it comes to James Gunn's DCU, a couple of years ago when they announced all of this, I was sort of like in defense of James Gunn. I was like, okay, he made Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll have a more fantastical DC universe. It could be cool. It could be fun. But every new DC property that we get, including Suicide Squad, the new Superman movie, I'm just sort of disappointed by all of them. And there's something about his comedic style and tone that he interjects in his movies that sort of does a disservice to the movie that he's directing. It's like a little comedy is fine if it works. But when you take me out of the movie for your like lame sophomoric humor that's not adding anything, that's a disservice. That's just bad taste. So when it comes to the DC universe and James Gunn being the creative head of all this, that's sort of scary at this point because I don't think he's really proven that he can do anything. And if anything, I think this goes to show the Guardians of the Galaxy movies might have been as good as they were because Disney, and I will defend Disney this one and only time, maybe they were also like saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this and maybe we should do this, but you have a little bit of a creative direction. I think he really just needs some kind of management behind him to tell him that some of his ideas are bad, and having complete creative controls is like sort of like not good for James Gunn. And also, and I will paraphrase as I say this, James Gunn was quoted at one point saying like, no DC movie will be made unless it has a solid script, and I'm going to make sure it's good. But when you watch shit like this, you think you're either lying, you're incompetent, or you're lying and you are incompetent. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on Supergirl. It just feels like a movie that should have come out in like 2001. That's really where this movie belongs, because it features every single trope you've already seen 25 other times in every comic book movie, except they probably did it better. Okay, let's read what you guys had to say about Supergirl. Anthony Stocci, how's it going, buddy? Zero chance I ever watch Supergirl. Watch it at home on a rainy day or something in the background. James Dozier says, I'm surprised it's not very good. I'm pretty much checked out of superhero movies now. Listen, hey, a good story will always be a good story in my opinion. And I love superheroes. I love a protagonist who's muscle bound and I just like that story. It's a classic storytelling trope, but I like it. Just give me this charismatic, colorful hero saving the day. Just give him something interesting to do. That's all I'm asking for. It's simple. It's really simple. And make it visually fun to look at. You know, it's not hard to make a good comic book movie. When you have a built-in fan base and an IP that's been established for 50 plus years, that should be like a home run no matter what. Just hire a talented director, a mildly competent screenwriter, and it's just like you put the two together, you'll probably have a decent movie. And I don't know why movies are getting worse every year. It's like, you've seen how to make a good one. You kind of do that. The next one comes from Gorilla Beach, who says, well, let's hope She-Ra is more exciting. I don't even know what She-Ra is, man. That's how checked out I am. Chris Salamu says, we love a dog movie. Don't be mean, John. What? Are you talking about Crypto? That being really the Superman movies and Supergirl movies hinge on Crypto. It's like, we can't hate a CGI dog. You're a monster if you do. And I don't hate Crypto. I'm just saying we have to stop using Crypto as a plot device in these movies. You can only do it so many times. Why am I getting ads on my FlickPick live show? I don't know, man. Don't blame me. Blame the system. Don't hate the player, hate the game. At least now ads pop up on the side, don't they? So you can kind of watch both at the same time, which I think is kind of a cool idea. You're watching ads because I'm poor, okay? Same formula as Pan, where they add awful cover songs. Absolutely, man. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention about Supergirl is it kind of gave me, and hear me out for a second, it sort of gave me Star Wars ads where this little girl, basically Luke Skywalker, needs help and goes to a cantina in this deserted alien planet to find help. And rather than find Han Solo, she finds Supergirl. She just wants to get drunk at the bar with these creepy, gross aliens. Anyway, I'm just saying, there's something else going on with Supergirl. I think she has some daddy issues as well. Let's keep going. Avengers Doomsday will save us. I'm hoping Avengers Doomsday is good. I am, man. I really am. Because whatever DC's doing, I just don't think it's working. And the other thing I need to add about all of this, and I just need to get this off my Superman emblem chest. Let's see if I can make my pecs dance in this. Anyway, save that for my OF. The scariest thing about all of this is I'm really looking forward to the upcoming DC Superman movie or upcoming DC Batman movie, not the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. I am looking forward to that, obviously. But when they go to make that new solo Batman movie, and if James Gunn is involved in the creative process of that, ooh, that keeps me up at night and that makes me scared. I just don't know if that's going to be the movie I want. And that's really upsetting to me. Anyway. It belongs in a Walmart DVD bin. Yeah, it's going to be there sooner than later. Skylar Wheelock says, it was a good solid watch, nothing groundbreaking or crazy, but I genuinely had a good time. There's no doubt some flaws with it. I just don't think it was as terrible or anything solid. See, I disagree with saying it's solid. I think it's the most lukewarm version of entertainment that doesn't really make you feel anything. There's not one scene in this movie where I felt anything. And I think that is a failure as a movie. It easily could have been better. Like even if you want to just say the action, like if the movie has nothing else, as long as you have solid action in your comic book movie, okay, we got something here. But even that just felt like the same thing every time. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Brand New Day. I am really looking forward to that. I think that might be the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie yet, or at least I'm hoping it is. So I am looking forward to that quite a bit. My favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie really was like the last hour of No Way Home. Once the other Peters showed up, I was like, this movie's phenomenal. Like the last hour of that movie is like web shooting, jizz-worthy fan service, and I love every second of it. Also, I quite enjoy the extended take or the extended cut of Spider-Man No Way Home because there's way more footage of all three Spider-Men like hanging out when they go to the Statue of Liberty during the final showdown of the movie. So I always recommend watching that. John, have you watched the new Jackass? I have not. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, and the truth is, I forgot that movie came out this week. I genuinely forgot it came out. I'm a huge fan of the first couple Jackass movies. Like the last one was kind of like underwhelming to me. But I love me some Jackass, man. I was probably one of the biggest fans of like CKY or Jackass you'll ever meet back in the mid 2000s. All right. I want to take just a quick like 10-second break. And it's, well, actually, I need to take a break. I need to take like a 5-second break. There's a good reason for it. So just give me a few minutes and don't even give me a few minutes. Give me like 20 seconds and I'll be right back. And we're going to talk all about Toy Story 5. So don't you go anywhere because you'll always have a friend in me. It came. It finally came. The big one. I got my Sid Toy Story shirt on because let's all be honest. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I wasn't like Andy. I wasn't all soft with my toys, okay? I was blowing shit up in the backyard. I literally had a friend, and his name was Sean. And he lived in a little shack down the street from us when I was a kid. And that dude was a pyromaniac. We would always go down to the creek, and he always had some random toy to blow up. And it was a great time. I don't know whatever happened to Sean. I hope he's doing good. But anyway, he reminded me of Sid. He even had the same haircut and the laugh. Anyway, where am I going with that? I don't even know. But let's talk about the brand new movie, Toy Story 5. You got a friend in me. You got me, you. Now, going back to the original Toy Story from 1995, I remember seeing that in theaters as a stupid little kid, and I loved it. And guess what? 30 plus years later, I still love the original Toy Story. I really like Toy Story 2, and I really enjoy Toy Story 3. And I think ultimately, if you look at all three of those movies combined, they are one of the perfect trilogy movies that really give you everything you want with the characters and the perfect send-off you could ever ask for. I don't care what anyone says, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Every time I watch the end of Toy Story 3, and especially the older I get, when Andy waves goodbye to his toys and looks in the mirror one last time after he just had that beautiful moment of one last playtime, man, that sends a tear down my cheek every time. And also, beyond all of that, the incinerator scene in Toy Story 3, where you think these toys are going to become melted plastic water bottles at some point. You're like, oh man, are they going to do it? Are they going to melt all of these toys and they just get incinerated? What a dark ending. I respect shit like that. I thought that was a perfect cap off to this Toy Story franchise. But then we got Toy Story 4 and 5. And listen, in my own selfish ways, my own needs, wants, and desires, I like the characters of Toy Story. I do. I like the dynamic duo of Buzz Lightyear and Woody. There's a snake in my boots, but we're Andy's toys. I am a space ranger. Anyway, terrible impressions, but I was looking forward to Toy Story 4 and 5 when I was driving to the theater to see them. And really, at the end of the day, I don't think either of these movies, these later sequels, are bad. I just don't really feel like I'm going to go back and revisit them ever again. Like the first 3 movies in the franchise, I can watch easily once or twice a year. No problems. And one day when I have kids, I will show them the first 3 Toy Story movies on repeat. I just don't really feel like watching the 4th or 5th movies. They don't really give me much. They don't really offer me that emotional gut punch or a fulfilling sense of I don't know, like entertainment when I watch them. But let's talk about Toy Story 5. Now, the premise to Toy Story 5, I think, is perfect. I think it's very topical, and it's definitely some social commentary that I think was much needed in a child's movie. And basically, what the premise of this movie is young Bonnie, the new version of Andy, who takes over the Andy's toys, she has now gotten her hands on a lily pad. Basically, she's become an iPad kid. She's addicted to a screen. She can't take her eyes off of it. And if you don't have some kind of form of technology that you scroll on all day, well, you just don't fit in with the other troglodyte kids that do the same thing. And I think that's definitely a problem. I remember a couple years ago, I went to a restaurant, and I shit you not, there was a toddler in this restaurant. This kid had to have been like 1 year old. I mean, this was a little baby, a little ball of mush with a soft spot. And this kid literally had his mom's iPhone in a restaurant, and he was scrolling on social media or something quicker than I could. And I was like, that is terrifying. That is the future of the human race right there, and I do not like it. But anyway, I liked the message of this movie quite a bit. And I definitely think it was something that needs to be said, and I do think it's something that should be implemented, especially with young kids. When you stop using your imagination and you stop thinking for yourself, you become an NPC character, and that's just not good. You know, I think there's a healthy balance there. And this movie does sort of explore that concept, and I think it was the best thing about the movie was exploring Bonnie being addicted to a screen, and there was a little bit of cyberbullying going on. And I thought that was interesting, but unfortunately, the movie doesn't really commit to any message that it's presenting. And what I mean by that is, like, the cyberbullying thing. Like, there was no reaction. There was, like, no consequences to this. The parents didn't get involved. The only thing they did is say, delete the app and take it away. No. You call the other kid's parents and you make sure they get punished for their sins against humanity. You know, so I didn't really think they committed to it. The other thing is, the main antagonist of this movie is Lilypad, but she also has Bonnie's intentions at play. She wants Bonnie to be accepted and fit in, so she wants Bonnie to stay addicted to her screen so she can have social interaction and make friends, but it's also the detriment of Bonnie. But anyway, the movie didn't really have an actual antagonist. And I stand by this, and it's not just because I'm wearing the shirt. I still think Sid was the best antagonist in any of the Toy Story movies. A little crazy kid with a buzz cut that wants to blow shit up in his backyard, and he has a little action figure that has like Barbie doll legs and a crane on it, which was basically, you know, a hooker. So Pixar has some dark humor. They definitely wouldn't do that today. But, you know, speaking of dark humor, the darkest humorous character in this new Toy Story movie is voiced by Conan O'Brien, who plays a potty training toy. And he's got some toilet humor. I don't know. I just didn't find it all that funny. And also, I didn't really like any of the new characters in Toy Story 5. I was like, just show me Woody and Buzz and the gang hanging out. All these new characters you're trying to show, I don't care about them. Like, they're not doing anything for the story. And speaking of the story of Toy Story, beyond the iPad story revolving around Bonnie, we also heavily focus on Jessie. Now, I've never been a big fan of the character Jessie, voiced by Joan Cusack. I just I just keep her in the background. I don't really care about Jessie. I never have, never will. And the fact that this is the movie revolving around the character, I just didn't really think we needed another Jessie story. I mean, we got enough of that in Toy Story 2, didn't we? We had the backstory. She kind of overcame being abandoned as a toy. She was accepted by her new family. She was happy. But now we're just retreading old territory that we already did 20 years ago. And now we have to watch a whole movie revolving around this. And I just didn't think it was that interesting. So I guess I don't care about Jessie's closure. Maybe it's just me. Did you care about Jessie's closure? I don't think I did. I'm sorry. But anyway, a couple things I didn't like about the movie was Woody and Buzz just really didn't have much to do. They kind of ran out of things for both characters to do, especially Buzz. Buzz is just existing at this point. Now, speaking of Buzz, the one detriment to Toy Story 5 is it has a lot of different storylines going on, but it doesn't really know how to commit to any of them. Like, for example, there's one storyline going on with 100 Buzz Lightyears, the new version of Buzz Lightyears, which I think were kind of cool, by the way, basically at this point in society. And I do think this is the most realistic thing that the movie did showcase when it comes to toys, was the new version of Buzz Lightyear is now integrated with Bluetooth technology. He's basically a drone with a video camera, and he does all these cool things. And I'm like, that's kind of what Buzz Lightyear would be by this day and age. He would literally be a drone that you could fly around. And speaking of that, I'd buy that shit if it was real. If I could buy a drone Buzz Lightyear with a camera on him, I would. And 8 years ago, I bought the Zack Snyder Batmobile that had it was an RC car with a camera on it. I bought that shit. I used it one time, then I sold it. But anyway, it was kind of cool when I bought it. But my point is, there's a whole separate storyline dedicated to these 100 Buzz Lightyears who are shipwrecked on a deserted island, that escape the deserted island and somehow magically find where Tim Allen's Buzz Lightyear is, team up with him and help save the day. And I'm just like, what is even happening right now? What is this story? I thought it was bizarre. It was really odd. It felt really half-baked. So anyway, guys, as far as the new Toy Story 5 goes, I thought it was okay. It just felt like a mishmash of a whole bunch of random ideas that didn't really commit to anything. I did like the social commentary about iPad kids and needing to not have so much screen time. But I think they could have went a little bit further with it, and focused on that more. And I just didn't really care about the Jessie storyline whatsoever. And I just don't know what the next installment will be about, because I love the Toy Story gang, but they're just kind of running out of stuff for these characters to do. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Toy Story 5. I didn't hate it. I don't think it's going to live on to be that memorable or meaningful, which is unfortunate. So I'll just go back and rewatch the first 3 Toy Story movies. What'd you guys think about it? Let me know down below. Let's see. We got one here. Toy Story 5 felt like a side mission Toy Story. It did. It felt like a side mission filler story. It felt like, it just felt like things you've already seen before. Let's retread all of this and put it all together in a movie. Because the only thing we have to say is there's a storyline about Bonnie being addicted to an iPad. Who wanted Supergirl movie anyways? Yeah, nobody. Toy Story 3 had a perfect ending to Toy Story as a whole of the past 2 movies. I agree. A perfect ending. But if they had something to say in Toy Story 4 or 5, by all means, make the movies, man. But they just didn't. Toy Story 1 had balls. It had some dark, edgy humor. Oh, I agree with you, man. The first time I saw Pizza Planet in Toy Story 1, my eyes lit up and I was like, please, if there's a place like this that exists, I don't care where it is, I will scour until I get to the edge of the world to find Pizza Planet. And could you imagine my misery and my disappointment when I found out Pizza Planet wasn't real? And this is all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. If Disney was smart and they wanted to make another $1 billion, they would literally open up a handful of Pizza Planet restaurants in major cities across the United States that had like a Toy Story Disney theme. I'm telling you, that would be successful. I would go there if it had decent food. That's all I'm saying. I just think I think it would do well. That's all I'm saying. I would go there. In a fantasy scene, even Conan has his hair in the character he plays. Oh, I noticed Conan O'Brien's orange hairdo in that imaginary play scene that they had. I did. And I like me some Conan O'Brien. I just did not give a shit about the potty training toy. I agree. There's only 3 Toy Stories. I agree. The story kind of died after Toy Story 3, didn't it? I think the story was done. As far as when it comes to a screenplay, at least it was. Can you imagine the kind of diarrhea Pizza Planet would give you? It looks dirty. Oh, but the best kind of diarrhea. You know what I'm talking about. You know you're going to get food poisoning, but man, it's going to taste good going down. It's not going to feel very good going out the next day, but that's a small price to pay, isn't it? Get any party poppers tonight? Oh, we got some party poppers. We'll dive into those when we get into the super chats here. Unrelated, but do you remember that Tron collab with frickin' Film Critic? Oh, yeah, I remember that movie review of Tron I made 15 years ago. I do. That was a lot of work, actually. All right. You can find that in the dark recesses of YouTube if you really want to. All right, guys, those are my thoughts. Those are the 2 main topics I wanted to talk about tonight. Now, how about we talk about whatever you want to talk about, and we dive into your super chats and your questions along the way. I'm excited. I'm perspirating. I'm a little bit moist, but nevertheless, what do you say we just dive into the good stuff, okay? And here we go. Let me scroll down. Let's scroll way down. And by the way, guys, tonight I am sipping on a delicious bourbon with a diet Dr. Pepper. And I poured a really heavy pour of this very expensive bourbon that my mother bought me for my birthday. And I diluted it with white trash Dr. Pepper because that's just who I am as a person. But I think it tastes better that way. I do. Okay, let's dive into the first question here. And the first one's coming from Asher56. How's it going? John, please just rant about James Gunn's trash ass. Well, I think I've done enough of that this evening, but I can continue on. I think James Gunn is mildly inept, and I think he doesn't really have a social awareness. I also think he got way too much credit for some ideas that maybe weren't all quite his, and he was managed just right early on in some of his big career blockbuster movies, because the more creative control that man gets, the more you realize maybe his creative control isn't the best version of a movie that it should be. And I think by this point, after seeing 3 or 4 movies in the DCU from him, I don't know if I want to see more. And I think anyone with objective thought would probably say the same thing. And it's something, and there's something about DC. They just cannot get the right person to have creative control of this universe. And that's really unfortunate. You know, this is not the right tone. They've went too far with the comedy, too far with the lame sophomoric humor. This feels like a babyfied version of what Marvel was trying to do. And they went the complete and opposite tone-deaf version. Like Marvel, they balanced comedy with fantastical comic book stories, but they gave you compelling characters, right? And then it's like DC saw that success and they're like, well, let's do that times 100. And now we're kind of getting like goofy Saturday morning cartoon comic book movies that just don't really have that much substance to them. No matter how hard they try, they just don't really ever hit an emotional core. And I think that's the detriment of the DCU, or at least for me it is, okay? So, I still now, the thing that I like most about DC right now is we're still getting these, side movies like Clayface. And we're still getting, Robert Pattinson's Batman, but those exist in another, reality. And I'm just thinking to myself, maybe if you just took some of that as inspiration for what to do with these other comic book movies, maybe that blend would be the right call. Because what they're doing now is just not what I want to see. It's like they're making movies for 5-year-olds, but they're not even making good movies for 5-year-olds. You know what I mean? And once again, it just comes down to this. Just a good screenplay is all you need. You go from there. And I don't think we're getting those. And it's so questionable to me when you have a screenplay like Supergirl, and you have 100 producers, you have editors, you have creative people, and they're all reading the same script, and they go, yeah, that's the movie we should give $150 million to. Yep, this is what people want to see. Let's make this. It's like, does anyone have a cognitive sense of reality? What? I don't know. So those are my thoughts on James Gunn. But anyway, let's go to the next one here. D. Zinker, how's it going, buddy? Thoughts on David Lynch's movies? Seen Lost Highway? Did I see Lost Highway? I'm not a David Lynch expert. I never have been. I know. I think I did Lost. Is that the movie about the guy who's an audio engineer? Or is that a different movie? What's the movie with John Travolta? Or what am I thinking of? What's the David Lynch movie with the audio engineer? Somebody let me know. I'm trying to think here. David Lynch movies. I did watch the David Lynch movie. What was it called? The old man rides a lawnmower across a state or two. The long story or something like that. I thought that was okay. Yeah, so he's directed Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Dune, the 84 movie, which I always thought sucked. Twin Peaks, I never got into. Lost Highway, the Straight Story is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I know people love David Lynch. I've never just been a big David Lynch fan. I know. Call me crazy. Punish me for my sins against cinematic. Straight Story, yeah. Blowout. Blowout's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I like the movie Blowout. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, Blowout with John Travolta. That's what I was thinking of. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, that's De Palma, right? Brian De Palma? Okay. Sorry, for some reason I thought that was a David Lynch movie. It kind of gave me David Lynch movie vibes, though. Anybody else? All right. But yeah, I've never seen Lost Highway. But anyway, Dezinker, thank you for the question. You get a party popper. I have a limited amount of party poppers tonight, so bear with me. All right. The next one comes from Clark, 1140. How's it going, Clark? John, your rant on airplanes/airports was stuff of legend. Please give us another deep diatribe on airports and airplanes. We need it and deserve it. Well, yeah, here's the thing. If you gave me $10,000 and said, John, take a vacation, you can go anywhere you want. The unfortunate thing about all of this is I would want more money because now I have to plan a trip and get on an airplane. Did you hear what I just said? I have to get on a tube, a round cylinder that has little flappy wings on each side of it that just shake in the air. And anytime you hit a turbulence pocket, the thing feels like it wants to nosedive into the ground. And I have to share the same air with all fucking 300 of these people that all have these bizarre airborne illnesses that never wash their hands. And I know 99% of the population doesn't wash their hands. If you've ever been in a public bathroom, I'm sure you can tell that for yourself. Anyway, my point is, Now I have to get on an airplane with all of these people and share the same oxygen for 2 to 3 hours. And then by the time we get shoveled on the airplane like cattle, and that's if the airplane even shows up at the airport, 90% of the time, you get to the airport, it doesn't show up. They make you wait around for 3 more hours before telling you it's canceled. That way you run out of opportunities to reschedule anything, because that's the corporate motto of keeping you there like a sheep and making you be subjected to how they want to control you. But anyway, once you get on this airplane, it's the worst experience of my life. I don't feel like time matters once you're on an airplane. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like my own reality ceased to exist. I might as well be dead. If you want to know what it's like to be dead and not matter, get on an airplane for 4 hours. No one's thinking about you. You don't matter. You don't exist. You can't connect with society. You're just on a tube for the next 4 hours, and there's nothing you can say or do about it. And you're at the mercy of just 2 guys flying this plane, and you're hoping that they didn't have too many drinks the night before, and we're just going to land where we need to get to. Anyway, and then once you get where you're going on vacation, and you land, and you go to get off the plane, it's like everyone on the plane has never been anywhere in their lives. They all stand up and they go, "What do you mean? I go this way? I got to get my luggage. I got to get my luggage is up here. I knew we were going to land 4 hours ago. I just didn't think I'd ever have to get off the plane and actually stand up and grab it." So once these troglodytes finally stand up and get their luggage, and for some odd reason, it just feels like everyone has the muscle mass of a 98-year-old woman who's, laying in a bed, who's a quadriplegic. It's like they can never lift their own luggage out of the luggage rack. It's like, here's my motto. If you can't put it in there, clearly you can't get it off, and you should sit in your seat until every able-bodied person can get their luggage and get the fuck off the plane. You sit down until you're told to stand up, sir. So let the youth of America get off first. Anyway, and once you get off the plane, you go through the airport, you call an Uber, and for some odd reason, it takes like an extra hour and a half than it should. Then you get to the hotel you're staying at, and clearly it looked way better than in the pictures than it does in reality, because you get to it, it's a shithole. The AC unit doesn't work. They don't even know that you're coming, even though you made a reservation 6 months ago. So you get to the hotel, your AC's broken, and then you're looking forward to breakfast the next day because they have free breakfast, don't forget. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to wake up the next day, get my breakfast, but hopefully I don't get bed bugs tonight, because every time you stay in a hotel room, I hate to tell you this, the comforter on top of the bed, yeah, that shit doesn't get washed. The sheets might get washed if you're lucky, but the comforter on top of that bed, they don't wash that. Did you know that? Yeah, that doesn't get washed. You're laying on someone else's filth. Congratulations. Then you go get breakfast the next morning, and it's just the most miserable slop you could ever ask for. It's like, what is this, the Holocaust or something? They give you this runny oatmeal, and they give you a cold pancake, and you eat this slop, and it's like eating cardboard. And then then you go on vacation, and where do people go for fun? You go to a beach? Oh, let me lay in some hot sand as the sun burns my skin and I get melanoma. And then I can get into the salty big body of water, and hopefully I don't get stung by a jellyfish. So anyway, that's why I stay home. Those are my thoughts on the airport and vacation. Let's go to the next question here. I'm not going to romanticize it. I'm just not. Okay, let's go to the next one here. On a positive note, but thank you for the question, Clark. You get a party popper. And the next one, the next one comes from Gorilla Beach, Holland. How's it going, buddy? Hey, John, have you done some thrilling stuff lately? I found a steelbook of Man Thing this afternoon. It is a Marvel horror, but hilariously bad, from 2005. What is this called? Man Thing? Let's find the steelbook that you're talking about here. Looks like a shitty version of Swamp Thing. It looks like a ripoff, if you ask me. Okay, I found what you're talking about here, buddy. Here it is. Is that what you got right there, or is it this right? It's this right here, right? Is that it? Okay. Well, congratulations. I'm glad that was exciting. I get it, man. Sometimes I get excited about little things in life. But really, those are the things that you should get excited about, Little victories. That's what you need. That's what everyone wants and needs. So anything thrilling lately in life? Let me think here for a second. Nothing too bad. It feels like with my job, because I do home inspections, every week I'm finding some weird death-defying thing in someone's house, and I just question how they never came across this in the last 20 years of living here. I'm like, you have a gas leak behind your oven. I just turned it on for 5 seconds, and the whole house smells like natural gas, which can eventually, potentially blow up if you light a match. How did you not find this? But anyway, other than that, nothing too exciting. Just kind of living life. Tomorrow I'm going to mow my grass and listen to a podcast on my riding lawnmower, and I'm really looking forward to that. But other than that, the most exciting thing I'm doing this weekend is hanging out with you guys talking about movies. So, life's been pretty mundane lately, but I'm okay with that. Are you excited for GTA 6? I think by the time GTA 6 comes out, we actually will be impacted with an asteroid that will wipe out humanity. I think they keep pushing this back as I think there's some kind of money laundering scheme going on, and they know they don't actually have anything to give us. They don't really have a product. All they have is like AI generated clips that they keep showing us, but even those have glitches in them. And it's like the game's supposed to come out in like 5 months, and it's just like you can't even show gameplay footage. That's questionable, isn't it? But anyway, I will buy it. I will try it. What else do I have to do? But the thing about GTA 6 is I've heard if you actually want to play online with other players, other than playing story mode by yourself, you are going to have to pay a subscription service to Rockstar every month. Yeah, okay. So I think if I do that for like a month or two, I'm going to cancel that shit because I don't see playing that game for more than a couple months. Call me crazy. Listen, if I'm going to play an open world game and drive around and be in society, I definitely don't want to be in the southern tip of Florida as I explore that. Like, I want to get away from reality. I don't want to drive around Florida. Okay? Like I want to go to space or something if I have an open sandbox game. Am I the only one? Like, I just don't want to drive around the streets of Florida. That's kind of what GTA 6 is. I don't know. So I guess I'm kind of looking forward to it. If it ever does come out. Which I just don't feel like it will. Okay, the next one comes from... And by the way, Gorilla Beach, thank you for your question. The next one comes from Cody Gill, who says, are you excited for The Mummy with Brendan Fraser? Listen, I love me some Brendan Fraser. I think he's been trying to get into shape for the new upcoming Mummy movie. I did not like The Mummy Part 3. I thought that was like unwatchably bad with Jet Li. I thought that was like one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's a fun, adventurous story. I mean, is it probably going to take place in like the 1960s or 70s at this point? If they keep up with the age of all of the characters. I'm curious what the story is going to be. But yeah, I definitely watch a new Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser. Who's the director? Has anything been announced about this movie? Like the screenwriter or the director? I haven't looked into it. But yeah, I like me The Mummy. I remember seeing that in theaters back in 1999. Quite enjoyed it. Anoxo Moon. Okay. James Dozier says, John, have you seen American History X from 1998? Yes, I have. I've seen American History X multiple times. How about some blue chips and guacamole? Yeah, I have seen American History X quite a few times. I think it's a phenomenal movie. I really do. I think that's probably... It's got to be one of the like best movies from the late 1990s. And I think Edward Furlong in that movie was phenomenal. And Edward Norton in that movie was phenomenal. I think the messaging in that movie is top tier. It's gritty. It's dark. I think it's beautifully crafted. And all the characters feel like genuine. And it's a really compelling story. And also, speaking of Edward Furlong in that movie, like going back and watching him in movies back in the 90s, you think to yourself, wow, this dude can act. Like, he's a good actor. Like, he feels like a real person. And I just, like, it's really unfortunate, like, where life went with Edward Furlong, man. He could have been like the next big thing. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, or I digress. But anyway, American History X is a great movie. It really is. If you've never seen it, cannot recommend it enough. It's definitely a movie that you get the family around and you watch it on a Friday night. I'm joking. The next one comes from Jake Tommen, who says, I missed the DC era of the Dark Knight trilogy, Man of Steel. It's been all downhill since. Then I don't know why they can't do a shared universe, right? It's sad. Yeah, it's really odd that they can't just like formulate a good idea and make it. You have great iconic characters. You have a built-in fan base. Just tell a somewhat competent story. It'll be a decent movie. By the way, speaking of The Dark Knight, I might have an upcoming movie night revisiting The Dark Knight. And I just thought maybe we should go back and explore like that movie in a timely fashion because of the upcoming movie, The Odyssey with Christopher Nolan. And I kind of want to go back and watch The Dark Knight again. There's a lot of things I love, and there's a few things that maybe I have criticisms with after the movie came out almost 20 years ago at this point, which is kind of scary, isn't it? That movie almost came out 20 years ago. We're like 2 years away from it. But yeah, I might go back and revisit that for a movie night video. And by the way, guys, I put out a brand new movie night video a day or two ago. It's over on the FlickPick channel where I go back and revisit The Phantom Menace. And I talk about wanting to get a haircut like Jake Lloyd had as young Anakin Skywalker in the movie. I also do a TV review. It is a sponsored video, but I did talk about The Phantom Menace and have a movie night watching it. So check that out if you want to. The link, or I don't have a link down below, but it's over on the FlickPick channel if you want to watch it. I thought it was a good video. But anyway, let's go to the next question here. Did I miss something? Did you say anything else there? Let's see. Yeah, it has been downhill since Man of Steel in many ways. And really the thing is, Man of Steel was ahead of its time. Had that movie come out today, I think it would have been vastly appreciated more. I really do. It's so unfortunate. But anyway, thanks for the question, man. And I'm going to give you a party popper right to your face. All right. The next one comes from Jake Tamman, who says, John, what are your thoughts on Snyder's Watchmen film? I've seen it many of times. The thing about Watchmen is it's got like a lot of cool, great scenes I really enjoy and some characters I really like. But watching the entirety of the movie sometimes takes a lot out of you. Like, I think it's a good adaptation of Watchmen, and I like Horseshack quite a bit, and Dr. Manhattan was great. It's just kind of a weird, bizarre movie, and I like how dark it gets. It definitely like pushes the limits and doesn't like pull its punches, which I appreciate. But it's just, I don't know about rewatchability, but I have seen the movie multiple times. And there's a lot of things I like. I really do. What was her, like, what's her name? Yeah, Silk Spectre. Sorry. I forgot about Silk Spectre, man. Oh, Silk Spectre. What the hell is that? Yeah, I liked me some Silk Spectra, whatever. She was always, great character, great performance. And that's the thing about the movie. All the performances are top tier. Yeah, Watchmen's good. It's good. It feels like a little bit discombobulated. It feels like just a series of scenes until they kind of slowly tie things together. It's definitely a dour movie. It's sort of depressing when you watch it. Someone said Elastigirl from the Elastigirl from the Incredibles. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Let's go to the next one here. And by the way, Jake, thank you for the question. Justice. All right, the next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for joining me once again. Here it goes. Hot take. 90% of badass female action heroes suck. Linda Hamilton, Sigourney Weaver are the exceptions because they are masculine women with strong jawline and deep voices. Also, Weaver is 6 feet tall. My eyeball itches. Ugh. Is Sigourney Weaver 6 feet tall? Is that true? Let's look that up. Yeah, you're right. Well, maybe there's something to be said there. Maybe they do have to. Well, maybe that, in all fairness, maybe a feminine heroic character should have a physical aspect to her, right? She should look capable and able. Like, if you're going to fight off aliens or cybernetic organisms trying to kill your son, you should have a little muscle mass. That's believable. But the same thing goes for a man. If some skinny, scrawny dude's trying to save the day, you kind of roll your eyes. You're like, well, if he can't even bench press 225, how the fuck's he going to, like, beat the big bad villain at the end of the movie? So I think there's something to be said there. It's just capability. And it can be a man or a woman, you know, as long as they look capable. So I think in all fairness, that's the right call, isn't it? And I think maybe that's what stands out about it. So I do get what you're saying. I do. Absolutely. And I agree with it. I think if you're playing a superhero to some degree, you should have a little bit of muscle definition. like, right? Your job isn't filing taxes. It's like fighting bad guys and punching them in the face. So yeah. Black Widow, she looked capable. I mean, she looked like, the thing about Black Widow is she's not like holding up cars. She's a Soviet spy. She looks like a chick that would be from Russia. And she looks like the comic book character she's based on. You know, she uses her wits, her charms, and her ability when she can to save the day, but she also uses guns. You're playing with fire on that question? I'm playing with fire? What, am I going to get canceled for stating the truth? So be it. If that's a hot topic these days, then the world has gotten too soft, and I'm sorry. Go eat some baby food and go to bed by 8 o'clock and look in the mirror and tell yourself everything you want to hear, because you'll really never accept a real opinion in life. And I don't want to converse with you, because we will get nothing from this conversation. All right, let's keep going here. And that's why people unsubscribe. John, that was offensive. All right. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Before I do get canceled. Don't cancel. Don't leave me. I'll tell you everything you want to hear. I'll appease you in social media. Oh, God. All right. The next one comes from, is it Pino Icker? Pinaker? Piniker. How's it going, Piniker? Here it goes. Gunn style doesn't fit with traditional heroes, in my opinion. And his tone can't be the tone of the DC universe. It's the universe of epic and mythic gods and monsters. Gunn's wheelhouse are anti-heroes. Yes, I get. I'm picking up what you're putting down. He does do anti-heroes well with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, you do have a point there. But also his tone is just, it's Saturday morning cartoon nonsensical nothingness with no depth or substance to it, made with someone of an IQ of like 78. It's like, how can I watch this and not get anything? He's not saying anything in these new movies. Nothing is being said. Nothing is being said. And that's the unfortunate thing. But yeah, I do agree, especially DC. If any studio and their properties need to have a darker, edgier version of them being made, it's DC. It always has been. And now we're going lighter than Marvel ever went. which is like, we're doing the opposite of what we should. It's like, well, the DC movies, when they went too dark, no one watched them. And now we're going too light. Now nobody's going to watch them. Double says, offensive John is the best. Listen, I don't even think it's being offensive. I think it's just, if you state the truth and that's offensive to you, I'm not the problem. You're the problem. All right, let's talk about facts, not feelings, even though film is subjective and I'm talking about my feelings. So there it is. Will I be a hypocrite? Maybe. What's good, John? And everyone, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to everyone watching. I do thank you guys once again for joining me. We have 23 beautiful bastards in here today. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's Saturday night. We're alive. The feeling is right. And I'm glad you had nowhere else better to be than here with me tonight. And just know, I mean this when I say it, because I'm the most genuine guy you'll ever meet on the internet. Okay? I do thank you for being here, and it does mean a lot. Because without you, I'm just some douchebag yapping about movies, blowing off party poppers in his underwear. So thank you guys for witnessing this. Witness me! Let's keep going. The next one comes from... And by the way, man, thank you for the question, and I agree with everything you said about James Gunn. I hope he gets fired very soon. Or let him direct the Teen Titans movie or something. Let him direct Saturday morning cartoons. Just something like that. All right, let's go to the next one here. The movie guy 007 says, I saw film theater logo on your last video. Did you team up with Chris and Alan? A live stream with all three of you guys would be awesome. You saw a logo from film theater. What? Film theater. I don't really watch film theater. Let me see what you're talking about here. I don't know. Did I do something from film theater? I don't know, man. If you're talking about the logo, no, that's just the logo I had made. I think it's just like a cliche template logo. There's nothing special about it. If you're talking about the one that says live show or film review, that's just like a logo template you can get. And then what I do is I took that and I make it my own thumbnail in Photoshop. So maybe that's what we're talking about. That could be. But no, I haven't teamed up with them, and I'm not super aware of their YouTube channel, but they sound like nice guys that I'd like to meet and embrace. John, is Blu-ray better than 4K? No. Now listen, technically on paper, the resolution is far superior. You're getting more information, which should give you a better picture quality. But let's talk about 4K just for 1 second and some of the detriment that it has. You're at the mercy of that transfer. You're also at the mercy of them remastering and recolor grading that new transfer. And sometimes what's happening with modern day transfers, especially of older catalog films to 4K discs, is they're bastardizing the picture quality. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it looks phenomenal. But there's this new trend where they think they got to make everything look blue, flat, and dull. And the best representation of this is like what James Cameron did with T2 Judgment Day. He just wiped all of the film grain out of that movie and made it look like a flat, waxy mess. And it was way too blue and flat and dull. And it's just like, why are we doing this to everything? The best thing about movies from the 80s and 90s was the way that those movies were color graded. They had chemical color grading where they actually took analog film and they had to color grade it with chemicals. And the look of those films wasn't this flat, dull digital thing that looks like it was shot with log, where they just didn't add any contrast to it or color, because that's, I guess, the world that we live in now. Everyone wants to watch the most depressing picture that they can find on Netflix. And they're the worst offenders of this. But when you go back to movies from the 90s, they had something called depth and they had something called contrast. And they just looked better. They looked more cinematic. They had a little bit of film grain that just adds a little bit of richness to it and keeps your eyeballs dancing around when you look at the screen. They had color. and I miss that. That's what used to make movies magical. That's why like older movies to me are better. It's not just like I'm romanticizing that they're better, or maybe it's just my perception, but I genuinely think they looked better. Like I objectively think they look better than they do now. So anyway, what was the question? Did I even answer that in any way, shape, or form? But thanks for, I think I answered a question there. Thank you for that. But anyway, thanks for the question, the movie guy. And no, I didn't team up with anybody, but I did team up with a party popper right there. More chemicals are better. Absolutely. More microplastics, the better. And with all that said, let me take a sip of this delicious bourbon. Because by the end of this, I'm hoping I say something that I regret by the end of the live show. I don't come here to play it safe. I play fast and hard. And if you want something from me, you can take it from my cold, dead fingers. You got that? Let's go to the next question. All right. Just Cash Out says, hey, John, Supergirl fight scene music was horrible. Yeah, what was that? Was that like, what was that song they played in Supergirl? Everything's gonna be okay. Something, whatever, everything's gonna be fine. What was that? Some Alanis Morissette shit or something? I don't know what that was. Yeah, it's like, listen, a little bit of that's fine in your Supergirl movie. Like, it gives a little bit of her personality into the movie. But when you're showing that during every big action climax scene where like you want to feel your pulse pounding as she saves the day and kicks a lot of ass, and you want us to take this character seriously, then play some serious music. You incompetent fools. Like they didn't play Beastie Boys in The Dark Knight when Batman was fighting bad guys. No. They played that in Star Trek. Thanks for that. But what I'm saying is, if you want me to feel these emotions and be invested in your character, then play some music that gets me invested, that gives me that feeling, and they just could not do that. It was definitely a weird song choice. It was Film Threat, not Film Theater. Oh, Film Threat. I'm not super familiar with them on YouTube. I'm sorry. Maybe I am. Let me watch Film Threat. I'll be honest with you guys, when it comes to YouTube and my watching habits, I can't even... Film Threat. Yeah, I'm not even subscribed to them. I'll subscribe. I'll check out some of their stuff down the road. But when it comes to YouTube and stuff I watch, I really don't watch a lot of movie-related stuff. I watch some of my friends on YouTube occasionally or whatever they're doing, but I usually watch like weird stuff about like people that sell things on eBay or go to garage sales or dudes who like do yard work or like just weird stuff. That's kind of like what I watch. All right, let's keep going here. The next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson back again. I want to spread you on some toast and eat you with my iced coffee, buddy. Here we go. It's funny that the first Spider-Man 2002 movie is a brilliant allegory for a young boy who hits puberty and starts locking himself in his room so he can crank his hog. Oh yeah, man. Peter's just shooting web all over that room. And I'm just saying, not all that came from his wrist. Okay, Aunt May? With that, I think it's best to move on. Okay. But no, I love the original Spider-Man 2002. I think it's a beautiful film. It's so well crafted. And that's going to be a movie that for the next 50 years is still going to live on and have a good message. Like 50 years from now, kids are going to like discover the 2002 Spider-Man movie. And I think they're going to like enjoy it. I think they might enjoy it more than like the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, for example. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? We'll see down the road. Did you watch the new Jackass yet? I haven't watched it yet. I definitely want to watch it. I am going to buy tickets to watch it tomorrow night. I just haven't gotten a chance to check it out yet. So definitely want to check it out. But here's the thing about it. I mentioned this earlier. I forgot that was even coming out this week. Like everyone's been talking about Supergirl, and I saw Supergirl Thursday night and forgot Jackass was coming out. I don't know. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's not just a rehash of old clips and it's a cash grab for nostalgic sake, which it might be. I don't know. I'm just hoping, like, I know Bam Margera didn't come back, or maybe he does, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same anymore. But anyway, thanks for the question, Avocado Balls Johnson. That was a dud of a party popper. All right, here we go. Mark Hickey, 9074. Thanks for the question, man. Very nice of you. Here it goes. Hey, Johnny. Another night of asking you to watch Cheap Thrills, very underrated movie. I hope you're doing well with Flickstar. Doing well, Flickstar. I hope I don't spoil this for you. What did you think of Sami Zayn becoming the new WWE champion? Yeah, I haven't seen Cheap Thrills yet, man. It's on the to-do list of 197 movies I need to get through. At one point in life, I will probably watch it. But what I did watch was Night of Champions, or was it Clash of Champions or Night of Champions? It was Night of Champions. So I watched the WWE pay-per-view this afternoon, and I'm a huge WWE fan. I love it. I do. It's live theatricality, stunt work. It's pure. I love it. It's unadulterated. I've been a fan of pro wrestling since 1998, and it just takes me to my happy place. I don't love everything that they do, but I do enjoy a good PLE. And so today, when I woke up at 11 o'clock this afternoon, because I slept in, it was a long work week. I was a little bit tired, and I got Wingstop for breakfast at 1 o'clock. And I got like 10 wings, got some of those little corn cob things that they have. Oh, it's so good. Those spicy seasoned fries. Ooh, and I took my Dr. Pepper Zero and I watched the WWE PLE Night of Champions. And I thought it was a pretty decent show. You know, they did the logical things that I was hoping they would do rather than just not propelling any storylines. And Sami Zayn winning that championship, I think, was the right call, even though he's probably going to be a transitional champ going into SummerSlam, and he'll most likely lose the championship to like Obafemi or something like that. I think it was the right call. It was a nice change of pace. So I appreciate that because wrestling has been getting a little bit stale lately. And by the way, that's also what I watch a lot on YouTube. I watch a lot of wrestling commentary content. And I'm telling you guys this right now, if I wasn't talking about movies, I'd probably be talking about pro wrestling on YouTube. Just putting it out there. All right. Okay, here goes the next one. But thanks for the question, Mark. There's a party popper. That's my finishing maneuver just for you. A party popper. Okay. Michael, or is it Michael Savarino 564? Okay, Michael Savarino 564. Here it goes. John, would you rather have Patrick Swayze come back to life or Robin Williams? Okay, well, I'm going to disappoint someone's family tonight, aren't I? It's a tough one, man. I love both actors, and I'll tell you why. Both actors were like childhood heroes in my home and in my young adolescent life. And let me further delve into what I'm talking about before I tell you who I'm bringing back from the dead. This is such a weird question, but I like it. When I was a kid, my dad kind of resembled Patrick Swayze. He really did. And sometimes when my sister's friends would come over, he would tell them that he was Patrick Swayze's stunt double. And they believed him. Like from a distance, when you squint in your eyes, the guy looked like Patrick Swayze. So Patrick Swayze was always like one of our go-to actors. Like whenever a new Patrick Swayze movie came out, like we would always watch it. We'd rent it from our local video store, like Ghost, Point Break. I remember that shitty Patrick Swayze movie, Black Dog, that came out in like 1998. That really sucked. But anyway, I was a huge Patrick Swayze fan, and I always will be, right? But then you have Robin Williams, who made some of the most iconic, fun, enjoyable movies. And I think the majority of the population would probably say Robin Williams. But here's the difference. And I don't want to get too dark or too depressing, but I like to keep it real with you guys. Robin Williams, he decided his fate, you know, for whatever reasons he had, Patrick Swayze died of natural causes. And that's unfair. And that's unfortunate. So, I think because of that, you kind of have to go with Patrick Swayze, don't you, in a weird way? And the thing about Robin Williams, though, on a lighter note is, man, like when I'm ever having a bad day in life, I go back and watch Robin Williams movies. Even the bad ones put a smile on my face. Especially the movie. Have you ever seen the movie Toys with Robin Williams? It's one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. When my dad took me to see that in theaters back in like 1993 or 4, I was thinking, oh, it's a new Robin Williams movie. This is going to be fun. Then you have LL Cool J playing this like weird Marine, and it takes place in this bizarre toy factory. And it's like this, it's kind of scary at the same time and has the weirdest plot that's ever existed. If you've never seen the movie Toys, I don't know if I recommend it. It has Joan Cusack in it, who plays a robot, which is just, it's a weird movie. It's kind of like, I don't know if I like it or hate it, to be honest with you. But it's this right here. Toys, Robin Williams. Let's click this here. Yeah, here it is. There it is. It's the weirdest, kookiest movie of all time. And it's definitely like not a movie that you think it's going to be, especially for young kids. It's not a movie made for kids. I genuinely don't know who this movie was made for. That's the thing about it. I think it bombed pretty hard at the box office. It's just a weird movie. So bizarre. Do you guys like the movie Toys? Let me know. Yeah, Hook is one of my childhood favorite movies of all time. A lot of people don't like it. They say it's one of Spielberg's weaker movies. I disagree with that. The more time that has went on, I think it's one of Spielberg's best movies. Just the set dressings in that movie, the fantasticalness of it, just how weird it is, the performances, all the lines. Like the thing about Hook is you can say maybe it's not like the best movie ever on paper, but man, you can remember that movie. It sticks with you. You rude crude bag of pre-food chew dude, you paranesium brain. Why don't you go suck on a dead dog's nose? What? I love it. Rufio. I want a cookie. I want a party. Me. I. I love me some Hook, man. I do. But anyway, going back to your question. Yeah, Robin Williams movies, they always make me happy. And they always will. So, Mrs. Doubtfire, one of the kookiest, weirdest movies that could probably never be made today. Isn't that the crazy thing about when you go back and watch Mrs. Doubtfire? And I'm not saying anything mind-blowing at this point but when me and my wife just rewatched it. I've seen it like 100 times. I actually saw Mrs. Doubtfire in the theaters, okay? But we went back and watched it a couple months ago. And when you really watch that movie, it's kind of weird. Like, it's pretty weird. Like, it's almost uncomfortably weird. But I like it. And I like his brother in the movie. Quite a bit. All right. The one that makes his prosthetics for him? You're becoming a woman. Here, don't ruin this one. Jumanji's pretty good. I also remember seeing Jumanji in theaters as well. I liked it. I thought it was good. It's definitely better than the Rock adaptations of the board game. Yeah, Jumanji was good. I mean, I remember watching movies like Jack even. Jack is one of the most depressing movies ever, isn't it? Oh. What's another good Robin Williams movie from the 90s? There's so many, man. He also made a lot of weird movies, like What Dreams Come or whatever, that depressing movie about going to hell and stuff. I gotta call my lawyer. I forget my lawyer. Yeah, the guy from Independence Day. You got it. Have you seen Dougal? I don't think I have. Yeah, I know we're getting a new Rock Jumanji movie. Is anyone looking forward to that? I don't know. What's better, Fright Night, Lost Boys, or Near Dark? For me, it's probably Lost Boys. I think that's one of the better ones, definitely. You got the two Corys in the movie. You got like the iconic saxophone guy in the beginning covered in baby oil. You got Kiefer Sutherland. You got these like weird vampire kids. I think Lost Boys is top tier, man. I was never a big fan of Flubber. Insomnia, or 1 Hour Photo, where he plays a creepy dude working at a convenience store who processes people's photos and has a weird obsession with them, like sitting on their toilets. I always kind of liked it, though. Oh, yeah. Dude, Robin Williams is the voice of the genie in Aladdin. That's the reason why Aladdin is probably my favorite classically animated Disney movie of all time. I love it. I can't bring people back from the dead. Whatever the hell he says. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, anyway. All right, let's keep going here. The next one comes from... Here it goes. Bengals Jake says, you love energy drinks. Do you, John? Do nicotine pouches? Do you do nicotine pouches? No. Dude, I'll be honest with you. I don't really do energy drinks anymore. I can't do them. They make me feel gross, and I just taste the chemicals on them. I have not drank an energy drink in months. Now, I do chug iced coffee on the weekends and have a cup every day. But outside of iced coffee, man, I don't really do the energy drinks. Usually throughout the day, I'm so busy, I'm chugging like Powerades. I drink a lot of Powerades. That's what I'm drinking nowadays. But energy drinks, I just can't do it anymore. It makes me feel gross. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. But I will say, like, cutting out energy drinks, you do feel better. Like, you should not have 9,000 milligrams pumping through your veins. No energy drinks? Who are you? I don't know, man. I'm a shell of my former self. I couldn't tell you who I am anymore. But I'll tell you this. I feel more limber than I have in years. Okay, let's keep going here. And by the way, thanks for the question, Michael, about bringing someone back from the dead. That was a very profound question. Jason Nelson says, John, do you have a big boy mower? Do you have acreage? Well, I'm sure that's what everyone wants to hear about is my lawn mowing routine and me cutting grass. But that's what I want to talk about on a Saturday night. I know I got you guys here with the movie talk, but really I want to talk about lawn care because that's who I care about and that's what I want to do. Yeah, so, I do have a riding lawnmower. I have a Craftsman T1000, and I like that because it reminds me of the T1000 from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Except now, he's like a liquid metal robot who transformed into a riding lawnmower that I ride around in. And that's what I think about when I'm mowing my grass. So, little tidbit for all of you. I have probably just under a half-acre yard. So I mow my grass. It takes like an hour and a half on the riding lawnmower. And then I get out and then I edge it. And then I weed whack it. And then I go through my yard and pick out all the weeds every time I mow it. And then I take my blower and I use Ego brand, battery-powered Ego brand of lawn care equipment. And I blow off all the debris and all the grass clippings. And I make the yard look real nice. And I sit back and I look at it from a distance and I go, okay, this feels good. So that's what I do. Yeah. That's the old man in me. But I'll tell you what. At the end of the week, when life's getting too hard or a little bit too hectic, just pop on a podcast and mow your yard. I promise you it'll be the cheapest therapy you ever give yourself. But thanks for the question, man. The next one comes from Damon Nickian Scott, who says, John, Toy Story 2 is the greatest sequel and opening. Yeah, I like the fight with Zurg and Buzz Lightyear. I think it's a lot of fun, by all means. I do like Toy Story 2 quite a bit. I just watched it in preparation for Toy Story 5 because I hadn't watched it in a while. But I'll tell you this. The most satisfying scene in Toy Story 2 is where Woody gets all the touch-up paints and the old man's waxing his boots and putting his hat on. And, oh, man, there's nothing more satisfying than watching that. I'm like, I want some old man to put me in a chair, wax my boots, and just like gel my hair and put a little cowboy hat on me. That's what I want. And then when he's done with me, he puts me in a large glass case down in his basement. That's all I want in life. Let's move on. I'm addicted to caffeine, for sure. No end in sight. I'm telling you guys, rather than drink an energy drink, get into iced coffee. Put some ice in there. Have a nice chilled iced coffee. Drink it with a straw. That's what I do. I don't want to stain my teeth. And put a little creamer in it. Maybe dairy-free, That's what I do. Okay, let's keep going here. He's for display only. Yeah, that's how I feel, though. Yeah, that scene hits every time. Sweet spot. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Okay, the next one comes from Lieutenant Dan's Fruit Company. Some kind of fruit company. He said I didn't have to worry about money no more. I said, that's good. Here it goes. Did you ever want a friend like Lardass from Stand By Me when you were a kid? Lardass. Well, yeah, I always wanted a friend who was made fun of until one day he goes to a pie eating contest in the 1950s and he eats so much pie, but first he drinks a whole bunch of alcohol and drinks some eggs. That way he can puke on everyone in the audience. Of course I want a friend like that. What are you talking about? That's the best vengeance of all time, and you have to respect such things as that. So yes, I always wanted a friend like Lardass, now that you ask. But in all reality, here's the truth. Speaking of Stand By Me, I always wanted a friend like Chris Chambers. And I kind of have a friend like that. But anyway, I always really liked the dynamic of those kids in Stand By Me, especially young Chris Chambers and Gordy LaChance. Like, I loved how they played off of each other. I thought that was like perfect. And when it comes to like child actors, I think the 4 child actors in Stand By Me, I think that is like the pinnacle and the upper echelon that you can get in cinema. I just think it was perfect. Perfect casting, perfect everything. Stand By Me. Definitely in my top 20 movies of all time. I always wanted a friend, period. Oh, man, I'm your friend. That's what I'm... Listen, this is about us, okay? I'm your friend. We only hang out for a couple hours a week, man, but it's a special time. And here's what I like to say. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, okay? No, Buzz, I'm your father. All right, let's keep going here. And thanks for the question, man. I only got a couple party poppers left, but you're going to get one of them. That's for Lardass. All right, here we go, man. Caleb, how's it going tonight, man? Anything scare you nowadays? And what's your creepiest paranormal experience? Thanks for going live. Well, thanks for that, man. Yeah, I know I didn't go live last week, and sometimes I'm telling you, I try to do this every week, and I'm trying to aim to do it like Sundays. But I'm going to do it during the weekend at some point because it's the only time I have nowadays. And by the time I'm done working all day, sometimes I don't have the energy to do it during the weekdays as much as I'd want to, because I like to give you guys 100%, okay? But anyway, as far as your question goes, does anything scare me? Really, these days, I do have a little bit of anxiety about everything. Like, the older you get, the more you realize just how incompetent everyone in society is. I'm like, okay, am I going to be driving down the highway and this guy just sideswipes me and kills me, like, because he's just not paying attention looking at his phone? And the best advice I can give all of you right now, and I do mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I do mean this when I say it, when you're driving down the road, just assume everyone is a guided missile trying to hit you. Your job is to stay away from them. That's how I drive. I'm like Pac-Man, and everyone's a ghost. And I'm like, I'm just going to try to eat all my fruit and not get touched by any of these people. So that scares me. Do I have any paranormal experiences? That's a great question. I'm trying to think of something, and I don't have anything that's like weird or creepy or overly eerie, but I will say this. I do think we're living in some kind of simulation, or there's some kind of weird energy field that exists with electricity floating through the air, because there have been so many coincidences in my life that are just, it feels like things were rendered because you put it out there. You guys know, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you say something and it exists at some point later in life or very soon. And I think to some degree, there's something to be said there. I'm just putting it out there. Also, there's been a lot of things in life that I've gotten extremely lucky in doing. Like, just lucky. And I don't know if you could say that's some kind of paranormal interaction, or maybe there's just something weird at play in the Matrix, but there's definitely, I believe into something with that. I know I sound like a kooky crazy guy with a tinfoil hat on right now, but I'm just saying, sometimes, like, I believe life is rendered as you go, and sometimes you can decide your own fate. Am I getting too philosophical? Maybe we should just keep talking about movies. I don't know. Your mind creates the reality. Yes, it does. I also, I was reading a dissertation the other day, because that's what I do at 3 o'clock in the morning, because I am a very philosophical person. Don't let the looks fool you. But I was reading something about how basically we as humanity and people are basically like drones, and our consciousness is being loaded into us from somewhere very distant away. And that kind of makes sense in a weird way, doesn't it? I'm just saying. Logo Face says, John, did you watch Night of Champions? We talked about that a little bit earlier. Talked all about it. I did watch it. I thought it was a pretty good show. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I did quite enjoy the cage match with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. I like me some Braun Breaker, man. That dude just goes for it. Like, he makes wrestling look violent and real. I like that. It's just like he makes shit look dangerous. I enjoy that aspect of it. But I watched it. I thought it was a pretty decent PLE that wasn't disappointing, and something different happened by the end of the show. So I did watch it. Thanks for the question, though. In short, John believes in karma. I think to some degree, yeah. Yeah, maybe. If that's what you want to call it, sure. The next one goes, I believe in divine intervention. There we go. But thanks for the question, Caleb. You get a party popper right to your face. All right, here we go. Mark Hickey, 9074 says, also, John, after your live stream, I'm going to watch Memento. What are your thoughts on the movie? Underrated Nolan movie, in my opinion. Well, I mean, it's kind of the movie that put him on the map, isn't it? I mean, that's what made studios take notice of Nolan, and he basically launched his career off of it. And he's always shared that same storytelling element where it has a non-linear story and you get flashbacks and you flash forward and it's all over the place. But really, if it was a linear story, it wouldn't be that interesting. You get what I'm saying? Like, a non-linear story just makes the story more interesting. And I think that's Nolan's motto. But anyway, I like Memento. It's been a long time since I've watched it, and I've been meaning to watch it because basically what I've been doing for like the last 2 years is my wife and I, we come up with a list of movies she's never seen. And a lot of them are movies I haven't seen in a while. So we basically just like have this long list, and whenever we have nothing to watch, we just pick a movie off that list. But Memento, we might get around to at some point. Yeah, with The Odyssey coming out, I'm kind of been in a Nolan mood, so I might go back and rewatch some Nolan movies. Maybe I'll watch Memento. It's been a while, so I remember liking it quite a bit. I don't remember having that much rewatchability, though. I never liked. I know people get mad at me for this. I was never a huge fan of Insomnia. I thought it was okay. Maybe I just thought it was like okay. I never thought it was like this mind blowing of a movie. Maybe I should go back and revisit it. But anyway, man, thank you so much for the question. And you get a party popper. Okay. And now I think I'm officially out of party poppers, so I should have went to Walmart and bought more, but let's keep going anyway. The Real Batman says, Toy Story 2 intro is kind of legendary. Oh, did I already answer that? Yes, I did. Jimmy's been a member for 53 glorious, magical, and mystical months. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Thank you so much. Don't you ever leave me, Jimmy. Don't you ever leave me. Okay, the next one comes from Mark, or is it Make 9360? What are your top 5 video games? Man, that's a good question. It really depends. You know, I think about replayability when it comes to video games. But like if you're going back to my childhood days, because honestly, like if you're talking about just about replayability, how much time you put into them, like honestly, Rocket League and Call of Duty are the 2 games I've probably played the most in the last 20 years. That's just the truth. But like going back to my childhood, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, one of my favorite video games ever made. The ultimate game, which I still enjoy playing occasionally on my classic SNES, is Super Mario World. Something about just playing that game, it's challenging, but it's so enjoyable. I still enjoy it. Every time I pick that game up, I can't put it down. Star Fox was always a good time. I used to like some racing games like Rush 2049, I think it was. I quite enjoyed that racing game. I always liked the game Rush. I thought it was so underrated for a racing game on the N64 because it had all these cool shortcuts. And then there was one level where it was like a stunt track where it was just wide open. And me and my friends, this is before the days of multiplayer online, whenever one of my friends would come over, we'd play Rush on N64 on that big open world map where you could just drive around and there was like a whole bunch of stuff to jump off of. And what we would do is just basically play tag on that level. And it was, dude, we would spend like hours doing this. I loved it. What else is there? N60, let's go to N64. Mortal Kombat. I was a huge fan of Mortal Kombat 2 and then Ultimate Mortal Kombat that had all of the characters in it. I'd play that quite often. I like Street Fighter 2 quite a bit. Would play that a lot. Shaq Fu. Anybody? Yeah, I got that for my birthday one time. And I was like, why did I ask for this? I instantly regretted it. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot was cool. I played that a little bit. Oh, I'll tell you one game I played the shit out of was Turok. Dude, there was one point when I remember renting Turok 2 because I beat the first one. It took me like a year to beat it. Because keep in mind, man, this was like 1997. I couldn't get online to figure out how to like beat the game or find the secret passages or what to do. Sometimes you would get lost too. And keep in mind, this was the days when you would play like 3D video games and things wouldn't quite render until they were 3 inches away from your face. So like exploring certain levels or trying to kill dinosaurs running out of nowhere where they'd become instantly rendered 3 feet in front of you, like you would die quite a bit. But yeah, Turok 2, I remember playing that for like 2 days straight because I had to return that shit to Blockbuster on Monday. And I remember like I got like halfway through the game or maybe 2/3 of the way through the game. And I just got lost. I was like, I don't know what to do, where to go, how to beat this level. I almost want to go back and watch a playthrough of the game just to figure out how to do it. Because it's really been eating me away since 1998. Did you ever play the Batman Arkham games? I played the first one just a little bit. I never got into them. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, John, you like Batman. Why didn't you play him? I don't know. Do your impression of Grace Randolph? Dude, that's a super chat question. Come on, man. You don't just get that shit for free. But anyway, because I like all of you and I'm not a money-grubbing whore, well, I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. Robert Giacinta, how's it going, Robert? Here it goes, man, and thanks for coming back for another live show, as always, buddy. Here it goes. Do you ever think to yourself, man, if just a few things went different in my life, I could have ended up like Robin Williams' character in 1 Hour Photo? I've been there. I get it. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of weird. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day about just like a few different things in your life. You know, maybe you grew up somewhere different, or you met one different person, or one thing happens. Your entire fate can completely change. It's kind of scary. I mean, if you really talk about the probabilities of just going out into society or driving to work and coming home, it doesn't feel like statistically the odds are in your favor, does it? It feels like a million different things can happen. We're just like a ping pong ball bouncing around hoping for the best. And it's kind of scary when you think about it, all of those things, or at least I know I do. I sort of sound like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park talking about chaos theory. You see the water. You put it on your hand and you see what it did there? See what it did there? Now she's getting out of the car. That's unpredictability. You are going to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour. I'm supposed to be working, John. Well, you know what? Work will be there tomorrow. I'm here tonight, so thank you for joining me. Don't you ever leave me. And if your management has a problem with that, send them to me. Listen here, you sons of bitches. Andy Kumar is an outstanding employee, and if anything, he deserves a raise. All right. Even Grace didn't like Supergirl. Yeah, Grace Randolph sometimes, like, I will be honest, I don't really watch her videos. I might come across one of her tweets or something. But, yeah, so I like that she's not afraid to share her opinion. Like, I don't care if you like or hate things, as long as you're giving me a real, genuine opinion. If you hate something or like it for whatever reasons, and you're not afraid to say that, I can respect that. I think that is the most noble attribute of anyone talking about movies. And sometimes nowadays you come across people that are just trying to cater to like a certain demographic or a certain audience, and it's just like, you're saying nothing. You're saying nothing in your video. You have no objective thought. You like everything. What is the purpose of you right now? You're not a movie critic. Even if you want to call yourself one, you're just a guy who likes everything. All right, let's keep going. Chris Solomu says, how's your week been going, John? This week was okay. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of what have yous. But the most important thing is it's the weekend. And I got a delicious, I almost want to get another bourbon. I find this very relaxing. That's going pretty good. I'll be honest. This week when I'm at work, I talk to myself in my own head. And I come up with all these things I want to say during the live show. And then for 2 hours, once a week, I get to say all of those things. I get to give you a diatribe of word vomit. And you guys come here for it. And I thank you so much. So as far as the week goes, pretty good. How about you guys? How's your week going? And I mean that. In the normal chat over here, just give me a quick little blurb. Say, let me know where you're watching from. And give me a quick little tidbit about your week. I'll read some of them. Just type that in right now. Let me know. Logo Face says, have you ever played the Batman Arkham games? We talked about that. I did dabble in the first one for a little bit. But anyway, back to Robert Giacinta's question. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I agree with you. Life can be so different on the flip of a dime. Whatever that means. I'd rather flip a quarter. Okay, thanks for the question, man. I'm at a party popper, so, or else you get one right to your face. All right, Ray Caprio videos. How's it going, Ray? Or is it Ray Carpio videos? Sorry, you guys know I can't read. Hey, John, what would it be like if Nick Cage's Spider-Man was against Christopher Walken's Green Goblin? Other than the best movie of all time. That could almost happen, like in Spider Noir. Like, I'm surprised he didn't put Christopher Walken in there as like a a 1920s bad guy, or maybe he is. I don't even know. I haven't watched yet. I have not watched Spider Noir yet. Okay, so it would probably go something. Okay, so this is Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man talking to Christopher Walken's Green Goblin. Okay, here it goes. Scene. Hey, Green Goblin, what's that in your pocket or something? A shark? You know, Spider-Man, you're gonna die. Your friends are all dead. Your eyes are zool. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout and drowned. Can I stop now? Please let me stop. Just let me stop. Can we move on? Let's go. Let's just move on. Okay. Never ask me to do that again. The next question comes from Real Raps 17, who says, wish more filmmakers took notes from Top Gun Maverick. The warm golden color grade feels like an 80s movie you'd catch on AMC with your dad. Man, does it. You described that perfectly. There's dad movies from the 80s and 90s always had a warm golden color palette with dudes just being dudes in a sunset in every scene. And I'm like, do people only talk during golden hour in this movie? I like it. I agree with you. Absolutely. Top Gun Maverick was unapologetic in everything it should have been. And the more I think about that movie, I think that's one of the more rewatchable action movies of the last 10 years. And I mean that. I like Top Gun Maverick significantly more than the original Top Gun. But the thing about Top Gun Maverick is, when you're watching those scenes, especially that first scene where Tom Cruise is trying to teach the young rookies how to do the mission and everyone's questioning him, he can't do this shit, man. That's impossible. And then he just gets in a fighter jet and just does it. And he's just flying around like this. And I'm like, that's fucking intense. And I love every second of it. And don't even get me started on the final mission in that scene where they have to drop the two warheads into the small little hole. It's basically the plot of the first Star Wars movie. You know, you got an exhaust vent, you got to drop some torpedoes into or whatever. But anyway, I quite enjoyed that as well. So yeah, it's a good time, man. So yeah, they're supposed to be making another Top Gun movie, so I'll definitely check it out. I'm your Huckleberry, Tombstone. Oh yeah, that's every man should say that to another man at some point in life. I didn't like Top Gun Maverick. Well, why not? Okay, let me read some of you guys, what you guys were saying up here. Where is the game stream? I don't know how to stream video games, man. That's the truth. I'm too stupid. John in his early life crisis era. To be honest with you, I don't think I've really... If you go back and watch me from the last 15 years on YouTube, what's really changed? I mean, I really mean that. You into Black Ops, John? I hate Black Ops, but I do play Warzone. I think Black Ops sucks. Whenever they made it about jumping off walls and shit, like you're Spider-Man with a machine gun, it's just you're doing too much. I'm not trying to do all this. I just want a first-person shooter game. I don't want to jump off walls and shit. Don't do this. Logo Face says, John, have you ever heard of the band called Ice Nine Kills? Kind of like Nine Inch Nails? Maybe I have. I think we talked about them a long time ago, maybe. Are you still on that Mr. Hyde pre-workout? Man, I haven't taken pre-workout in years. If I did, my heart would explode and I'd fall over. Logo Face says, John, I remember when you got the Green Lantern glass out of a Geek Fuel box in 2015. Wild, man. Yeah, here's that Green Lantern glass. I have it 11 years later. And the fact that you remember that I opened this in a Geek Fuel box. And the funny thing is, man, when I went to grab this glass before doing this live show and pouring bourbon and Dr. Pepper into it, I was thinking to myself, I got this in a Geek Fuel box a long time ago. And the fact that you remember that means a lot to me. It really does. It really does. Let's see if we can, I want to see if I can find the video. Let's see. Geek Fuel unboxing Flickinger Flick Pick. God, will I ever? I have a lot of Geek Fuel. Oh my God, it's in the thumbnail. Thank God. Okay, let's watch the backstory, the origin story of how I got this Green Lantern glass in a Geek Fuel box 11 years ago. Should we? I think we should. I know I want to. Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go, baby. Here we go. Okay. All right, here's the glass. Here's the glass right there. Thank God it's in the thumbnail. I would have never found this.
Hey there, guys. How are you? So before we go over there to the Flick Cave, and we start an all-new channel update, we talk about some other things and do an unboxing of the Geek Fuel box right there. But we're not talking about that yet. I wanted to show you guys this right here. This epic buck. Look at that. Just delicious. All right, how are you guys doing? A lot of updates that I've been doing on you. Okay, things are getting violent. Let's calm down. So yeah, you want some rubber worms? There you go. Now, okay, there you go.
Let's get to the glass. Let's see what I say about this glass.
All right, now this right here, that's what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff I love because I love glasses because when you get your ice cubes out, 3, no more, no less, you pour your soda pop in there, that's what I like to drink out of. My only complaint is it's the Green Lantern.
now I'm drinking bourbon out of it, but anyway.
Nothing wrong with Green Lantern unless you're talking about the movie starring Ryan Reynolds. But you know what? I would have preferred Batman because just drinking out of a Batman glass makes me feel that much better about myself. But yeah, that's really cool. I like that. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Let's go somewhere. I got an idea. Yeah, speaking of 3 ice cubes, no more, no less, let's go test out this glass because when you have a glass, you just...
I'm testing out the glass. I really dedicated a lot of screen time to this glass.
Just have to taste it or drink out of it or fill it with ice cubes. What am I talking about? I'm running down the stairs. Hi, everybody. Say hi, everybody. Just gonna lay there. Okay.
That was the most camera shy dog ever. If you recorded her, it's like she knew she was being recorded. If you didn't record her, she was like friendly. It was bizarre.
I'll leave you alone. All right, so the first things first, when you get a new glass, you have to wash it. I don't know where this thing's been. I don't know who's been touching it. By the way, a quick side note about me, and this is a fact. I don't think I've ever really said this, but I am a germaphobe. Like, I wash, too lazy to put ice cubes in it. But this Jones soda is already cold, so now look at that. It's beautiful. Okay, let's continue on unboxing.
Well, that's the origin of the Green Lantern glass. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That was really something. Okay. The volume is too low. I'm sorry. I tried my best. The audio quality has improved. Well, no, I'm playing it off my computer speakers. That's why it sounds like shit. I don't know how to play it through my software because every time I do, it has like an issue. So you're just listening to it through my audio speakers. What happened to your dog? I gave her away to friends of my family that had kids because I was moving. I was moving out of state to a townhouse that literally did not have a backyard or anything like that. And I honestly she got a bigger house, a bigger yard with kids to play with. It really was the best outcome. I only had that dog for like 6 months or something. Yeah, so that's what happened. The best of Flick Pick. Well, thank you for that. Okay, let's keep going here. The next one comes from Robert Giacinta once again, who says, I like to think of you as an uncle I never had. The one who rubs your shoulders and says, whoa, you're really growing into your body. Holy shit, man. Well, I like to think of, I'll be the uncle who tells you about my high school glory days and says, why don't we go wrestle down in the basement? No, don't do that either. Okay. All right. Let's not do that either. John was so crazy back then. I mean, I'm still crazy. I just don't record as much of it. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Do you make your iced coffee or buy it in stores? I buy the half-gallon jugs of it in the store. Are you ready for the Odyssey? Yeah, I'm getting. Actually, you know what's cool about the Odyssey? Listen, I'll tell you the perks of being a YouTuber or whatever I am nowadays. I still dabble in YouTube. I'm still relevant, aren't I? No, I'm not. I'm inconsistent. No one watches me anymore. I'm a piece of shit and a has-been. Nah. But anyway, my point is, the Odyssey at actual legitimate IMAX screenings is completely sold out. If you want tickets to it, you got to buy them for like $200 on eBay. Actually, now I'm curious about that. But the thing I was trying to say here is I got a press screening of the Odyssey at a legitimate IMAX screen at the Indiana State Museum, which is like 2 hours away from my house. But it's a legit IMAX screen, one of the only 18 IMAX screens in the U.S. So I have an early press screening of it on Monday. So I get to see it like 4 days before it comes out on the legit IMAX screen, and I don't have to pay for the tickets. Like I get to see it on the IMAX screen. So I'm hoping the movie's good. I have some thoughts and some feelings about it. The fact that everyone's doing American accents in the movie is kind of a turn off. I'm like, why don't you guys just do like your British accents? Because everyone in the movie is like a British actor except for Matt Damon. I don't know. Why are we doing this? It's kind of, there's a lot of weird creative choices. That's all I'm saying. But look at this shit right here, man. Look at this. Some of these Odyssey tickets, the Odyssey IMAX, $200. $200 for a couple tickets to IMAX of the Odyssey. First show, the Odyssey, $150. This is crazy. New listing, $300. So here's the thing. Here's the truth. I'm allowed to invite like 4 people to this press screening. So how about I just charge somebody $500 to go see not the first showing of the Odyssey, but an early showing of the Odyssey 4 days early. $500 a ticket, okay? I'll buy you a popcorn. No, I'm just kidding. But like, this is crazy, man. $265 for the Odyssey tickets on eBay. Oh, you can get a collectible commemorative ticket for $38. I don't want that junk. $350 for 2 Odyssey tickets, Saturday, 2 p.m. Not the first day it comes out, but you get to watch it 2 days after it comes out. $350. That is crazy. So yeah, this is definitely one screening I'm looking forward to. So I'm hoping the movie's good. I'm hoping it's an epic from Nolan. I hope it blows my hair back. I love a good sword and sandals flick. It's kind of like my favorite genre. I love the movie Troy more than I probably should, as you guys know if you've been watching my channel for a while now. But man, I'm hoping the Odyssey lives up to the hype. I really am. All right, here it goes. Uranium Cranium says, "Hi, John. Been busy and just came online. Are you going to do a podcast on the 4th of July? Hell no, man. I'm busy on the 4th of July. I'm trying to chill out, blow shit up. I'm going to be like Sid from Toy Story. I'm just going to blow up little toys in my backyard with firecrackers or have Roman candle fights. I was just talking to my buddy the other day. He's been like my best friend since middle school. And in high school, we used to have Roman candle fights during 4th of July, like me and my buddies, and we just run around in a circle with Roman candles shooting them at each other. That's what we did. It was a good time. I'd like to do that again. But yeah, would you guys ever buy the Odyssey tickets for $350? Let me know down below. How do you buy tickets on eBay? You just buy them. Dude, I'm telling you, they sell. Like, if you get tickets to an IMAX movie and you get the first screening of it, they sell on eBay. People buy them. Or what you can do is you can just like take the tickets, you print them out, like the actual ticket with the QR code, and you mail it to them in the mail, basically. Troy is finally coming to 4K Blu-ray. I know. I will definitely try to get my hands on that at some point. I love Troy. I hope it's a good transfer. Are you American? No, man. I'm Asian. Do I not look American? Do I sound like I have a British accent? I don't. Is that a real question? Please let me know. I genuinely want to know where that's coming from. Troy is in Zac Efron? What the fuck are you talking? No, Troy is in Useka Wine. Brad Pitt with a spray tan. John, are you from Antarctica? I would like to go to Antarctica. Dezinker says, Did you ever get Fight Club on 4K? If yes, have you seen it yet? I never bought Fight Club on 4K. I've not bought it. For me to buy something like that, I have to be in the mood to watch it again, and I just haven't been in the mood to watch it. I own it on Blu-ray. Wait, do I have Fight Club on 4K? No, I don't think I do. I don't have it. I have Panic Room on 4K. I have the steelbook of it. Logo Face says, Roadhouse is coming to 4K with a steelbook, I think, in August. I'm going to buy that shit day one, baby. Thought you'd be a lot bigger. The name's Dalton. Pain don't hurt. I love Roadhouse. I mean, I have a great video for 4th of July I've already made. I shared it on 4th of July like 9 years ago. So maybe I'll just share that again. It's just a series of clips of me blowing up things with firecrackers over the course of my YouTube career. Who is the first president of our country? Barack Obama. What are you talking about? Name a movie that you saw that was an explicit R-rated movie. I mean, Silence of the Lambs, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the movie Sleepers. Have you ever seen that? That's depressing and weird. American History X. Toy Story 5. Sam Elliott's great, yeah. John, did you see the last Jackass movie in theaters? For the 4th time of tonight, I have not seen it yet. I will see it tomorrow, and I will talk about it on the next live show. I'm hoping it's good. Have you guys seen the new Jackass movie? Let me know down below. Did you like it? Was it good? Was it fulfilling? Did it have a nice send-off? Did it bring a tear to your eye? Let me know. Did you guys notice in the new Minions trailer, and I've never watched a Minions movie. I probably never will. I think this is what it's from. But was it from Minions or was it from something else? Anyway, they did a parody of the Jackass intro from the first Jackass where they're being pushed down a hill in a shopping cart and they have all the smoke and debris and they're getting hit in the face with stuff. They did like a parody of that in like the new Minions trailer. Did anyone see that? They're even playing the same music. Favorite Jackass film? Probably the first one or the second one. I think maybe Jackass 1 or 2, definitely. John, did you see the last Jackass movie in theaters? Yes, I did. I have a review for it. Let's actually speaking of Jackass, let's I'll show you guys some stuff I used to do when I was younger. Some weird stuff I used to do when I was a young man. So I did see Jackass Forever in theaters. I have a review for it. If you want to watch it, just check it out on the Flick Pick channel. It's there from 4 years ago. But in that video, I shared some clips of my younger days from high school and middle school When I used to have highlights in my hair, yes, at one time I had highlights in my hair. Am I proud to say that? No. But am I ashamed to say it? No. But I did some Jackass stuff because I was easily influenced by Jackass. So let's watch that for a second here. Here we go. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Johnny Flickinger, and this is my Jackass Forever room.
Okay, let's...
Breathed.
Where is it? Oh, yeah. So when I did Jackass, I had one episode of this hit public access. And keep in mind, my version of Jackass was called Losers. That's how I spelled it. Look at that right there. And the background of that is a lava lamp that I had in my bedroom when I was in middle school. I thought it looked cool. So this is like my first ever experience with a video camera, editing anything. And I wanted to put this show on public access because keep in mind, this was like 2002 to 2004 maybe. I kind of did this kind of stuff. But check it out. Here it is. This is just some clips.
Public access. It was my first introduction to a video camera and picking it up and recording anything.
That's my friend Scott. That's a friend named Travis. There I am jumping off a shed. Oh, this is good. You'll like this. That's a suplex. Oh, there's my name. That's me. Oh, here's some more. Here's some more. Get ready for it. This is bush jumping. That's me. Look at my highlights, man. Look at those highlights. Look at me jumping into a bush. That guy's really going to amount to something one day, isn't he? Look at those highlights, man. God, those were beautiful. I got some height on it, though. That's all I'm saying. I think that's me in a shopping cart right here. This is 2004. That's me. Oh, man. Good times. Yep, that did hurt. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You're the king of Bush. Well, thank you for that, sir. Yeah, that was early 2000s. So that last clip of the in the car, the shopping cart, I was at least 16 because I could drive at the time. The Losers Club. That's our hero. Yeah, that's the origin story. I used to say welcome to Jackass when I worked at retail. John, what are your thoughts on physical Blu-ray? John, what are your thoughts? Well, what's your favorite physical Blu-ray from your collection? I don't know. That's kind of tough to say. I don't know. That's a good question. I think I have some cool releases, like some cool box sets back there. But I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I'd have to go through them and think about that. I would. I'm just happy Nightcrawler finally hit 4K. That's all I'm saying. I like I don't know, like even the Karate Kid box set looks kind of cool. I don't really like Karate Kid 2 or 3 all that much. Like even the new Arrow video release of Robin Hood Prince of Thieves looks kind of cool. I like Arrow video releases. They come with like a poster. It's like that's what physical media releases should be. Like justify me buying the physical release. A man of culture. Well, thank you for that. Uranium Cranium says, had a good week, got an annual project done Friday, also been a member for several years. And I thank you for that, Uranium Cranium, more than you'll ever know. So thanks for joining me, man. And good job getting that project done. John, would you rather watch a documentary narrated by Stallone or Arnold? Probably Stallone. Yeah, I'll know. In the next clip, we're going to go over here and do something over here. I don't know, you know. Is that even a good Stallone impression? Yeah, I'll know, you know. You do it now. Probably Stallone's voice to be a little more relaxing. Logo Face says, do you think Val Kilmer would have been regarded as one of the best Batmans if he was in a darker movie with a better director? he definitely would have been better than George Clooney, no matter what. And he is better than George Clooney. Maybe. I think Val Kilmer was fine as Batman. But for me, it's like Christian Bale or like Michael Keaton. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Karate Kid 2 is the GOAT. It is GOAT that Asian love. What? Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I like that he went to Japan in the second movie. I thought it was fine. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up right there for tonight's live show. It is getting a little bit late. We've been talking for over 2 hours about movies, but I do want to say, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight on this brand new live show. Or I guess, yeah, every live show is brand new when you're doing it live, isn't it? But as always, guys, I do appreciate you guys hanging out, watching, talking about movies for the last couple of hours. I hope it was a good time. I hope it was slightly fulfilling and mildly satisfying, but it definitely was for me. Let me take this one last drink of this delicious bourbon. And with all that said, guys, have a great Saturday night. Have a beautiful Sunday morning. I hope you guys eat some bacon, drink a little iced coffee before the miserable Monday work week comes. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a good night. Take care. And by the way, before I go, don't you leave. Don't you leave. Give this video a thumbs up because stick it to the algorithm. Listen, you want to stick it to corporate America, give this video a thumbs up. Help that stupid algorithm. Also, I did put out a Supergirl reaction / out of the theater review over on the FlickPick channel. That's a good time. I think you'll enjoy it. And then I also put out a brand new movie night video revisiting Star Wars The Phantom Menace yesterday on the FlickPick channel. So if you want a brand new movie night video, there it is. We talk all about Jar Jar Binks and eat some popcorn out of Darth Vader's head. It's a great time. Check those videos out over in the FlickPick channel. The link to my main channel should be down below. Click that shit. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.